here on the other side. Cantu, happy hump day, my man. How's it going?
Good. I mean, it's been kind of a good week actually. It's the first week of school. Everything's been going good. I feel like this is the time the kids are usually pretty well behaved because they're nervous, shy. So it's been a pretty good week.
No fights, nothing like that going on. Just
Not yet,
all chill.
hopefully.
You said not yet.
Hopefully not ever, right? But
You're fourth or fifth grade teacher, if I'm not
fourth,
mistaken.
fourth grade.
Yeah, you already won. Little kids fighting each other
I don't.
at fourth grade.
I don't. But sometimes it's inevitable, honestly.
Do kids still have food fight these days? I feel like that's like extinct now.
I don't think we ever had a food fight while we were in
You never
school.
had a food fight?
No, did you ever have a food fight?
Yeah, in my school.
No.
See, I feel like it's going extinct now. It used to be back in the day, my time too. Now, I can't believe you've never experienced that.
No, t- never have. I'm kind of glad I haven't though.
Just imagine you get in because you wear glasses. Get on your glasses. Mashed potatoes.
Absolutely.
Episode 206, though. Astros sweep the Trop. My gosh. Are the Astros America's team?
They're back though. They're back.
They're
Back
back.
to back sweeps of the AOE. Of the AOEs, nonetheless, which is usually a pretty great matchup between the Astros. Like, although the Rays and the Red Sox haven't been like consistent, but they're still really great teams out there. Like Boston's like what fourth in the wild card spot they're battling there. So I mean, pretty good teams in the AL East.
Yeah, the Astros are 10-2 at Tropicana Field after today's sweep. But like you said it best. Back-to-back sweeps against AL East teams. They're 65-55 as their record. 10 games above 500. Wow. Who would have thought?
That's crazy. After being 10 games below 500, and the Astros, what a turnaround for sure.
What a turnaround, like you said. 8-game winning streak as well. What a road trip for the Astros. They honestly could have had 3 sweeps on the road in Texas. They had that game 1, but obviously it got out of hand. But was at 3, 6, 7, 8, 8-1 on the road trip against the Texas Rangers, the Boston Red Sox, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Wow, what America's team is on right now.
Yeah.
Recap that Rays series. Alexander David Bregman. We'll talk about him too. As him and Yordan Alvarez getting co-player of the week in the American League. Starting pitching. Much love to Josh Hader because we haven't had a lot of bullpen talk on this show. But hey, we're going to give Josh Hader his flowers, especially after this game in the series finale. Position changes too, Angel. I don't know if you saw some of the media. I know Brian McTaggart had shown a video of Kyle Tucker out there in left doing some drills, but he had also mentioned Zach DeZenzo getting some time over there in left field before Monday's matchup. Yainer Diaz playing some first base. So we'll go into a little bit more depth here in a little bit about that. Who's invited to the Carne Asada? The White Sox come to Minute Maid. Train station injury news. JV's next rehab start and around the horn. My gosh, that's a lot on our plate that we have today. Good evening, everyone. Way to go, Astros for the A. Shout out to Tater Tot as he is joining the show. But Angel, let everybody know where they could follow us, man, on our ticker below.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, every podcast you can find us on. If you want any social media of up to date things, like for example, the Hall of Fame, Astros Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be happening this weekend. We'll get you the top and latest scoop from there. You can find all of that on our FSA Full Steam Ahead Instagram, Full Steam Ahead X, Threads, TikTok, all of that's there. If you miss an episode, just want to hear our wonderful voices again, or want to be, in the loop of what's going on with the Astros, you can find us on Spotify podcast and Apple podcast.
Yes, and Angel did write about one of those guys going into the Astros Hall of Fame this coming weekend. It should be very awesome to see all the former Astro players in that Hall of Fame group. But also, too, we didn't even put out our Robert Flores from MLB Network. He did join the show the other night. I think it was Monday night or Tuesday night. Monday night, correct? Yeah. So we didn't promote it like usually what we do with all our episodes. But if y'all haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube channel, like Angel said. It's also on the podcast platforms as well. But Angel, let's get this thing started, man, because
it's late.
It is 9:57 p.m. Central Time over here. Of course, we have some work the next day, but let's talk with Alex Bregman. My gosh, the man gets co-player of the week with Yordan Alvarez. That's only happened once in Astros history. You got to go back to Julio Lugo and Richard Hidalgo back in the 2000.
Julio Lugo.
Yeah, Julio Lugo and Doggy
Yeah,
Richard Hidalgo. And Yordan Alvarez and Alex Bregman has been one of those. Both of those guys really that have been hot on this road trip. And Alex Bregman though too, he's been the guy tearing the ball. He finished the series 4 for 14, two with a double, 2 home runs, and 2 RBIs. There was one game, I want to say it was Tuesday night. He just needed a triple to get for the cycle.
yeah. It was Tuesday night.
So
And
he
it
was
was like,
very close to getting that.
and it was only like what I think the fifth inning or fifth inning when it happened. So I mean, he had plenty of time, but obviously he did not get the trip.
Yeah, and to add on to his little resume of that co-player of the week, he hit 4 home runs in 4 consecutive days. Obviously, that snapped tonight because he did not hit a home run in the series finale. But right now in the month of August, I mean, he's on a roll. He's hitting 340 with 18 hits, 10 extra base hits out of those 18, 5 doubles, 5 home runs, 8 RBIs. Breggy is just seeing the ball very well at this moment, and it is probably the right time you want him to start seeing the ball very well.
Absolutely, I think Bregman's just like the Astros. Honestly, like their second half players, second half teams, and it doesn't matter what he did the first half, as long as he's hot going into playoffs and in playoffs, everything else is erased.
I'm interested to see the splits. I want to go back to 2023. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, I was about to go look it up.
In August last year, he was hitting 318, and that's in 2023. 2022, when the Astros won the World Series, 362.
He's second half player.
I think the month of August, because I'm just saying August splits. This guy just loves the month. Shout out to him because that's my birthday month too. It's August, and who doesn't love that month?
Do you have the post All-Star break?
Yeah, so post All-Star break, it's a 287 in 22. Last year, I'm looking at it right now, 290. So yeah, I mean, tentatively he's honestly a second half player when he starts getting hot. But the way he's hitting the ball right now, especially with a MVP candidate like Kyle Tucker out of the lineup, that it's really good to see him hitting the ball.
Yeah, and he wants a contract. He wants to get paid over the offseason too. So I mean, if he keeps hitting like this, he's just building the resume. Getting teams excited. I'm sure he's seeing money signs if he stays hot to the end of the season.
So you're still telling me you will not give him $200 million?
If he stays hot the rest of the year, I might backtrack on that. I don't know
yet. Now we're backtracking. It's just like Luis Garcia all over again from like 3 episodes ago. Which will
I'm
have
not backtracking on it.
No, but you were almost like, you know what? You wanted to change it. And I'm like, nope. It's close. But we'll have an update on Luis Garcia because it's honestly looking. You honestly might hit the nail on the coffin on that one. He looks like he might not be pitching this season, but we'll have more info later on. Starting pitching. I mean, we've already used phenomenal. We've used excellent. Angel, I'm putting you on the spot right here. Well, what's that one word when you're talking about this starting pitching specifically in this series?
Ooh, one word. Let's go with exceptional, marvelous, stunning, outstanding. Because that's literally what
we just needed one. It's either
we got. I gave you more than one. Okay. So I mean,
we got 3 players on here.
It's been a pretty fantastic job for starting pitching this series, and even in the Boston series too. I think that's just, like pitching and offense has been the reason why the Astros are where they are. It was offense in the Boston series. It was pitching in this series because it was very pitchers duels in literally all 3 games. So they're pretty phenomenal there.
Yeah, the Texas series pitching. I'd say Boston too. I mean, Spencer Arrighetti giving you 13 strikeouts. Hunter Brown as well, continuing to dominate. It was just that little rocky start for Ronel Blanco. But this series right here specifically, my gosh. This is probably one of the best starting pitching series that they've had, I would say, this season. Let's start off with Framber Valdez. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, threw 101 pitches. 60 of them were strikes. He was just 1 out away to qualifying for a quality start. But, I mean, La Grasa has been that guy this like post All-Star break, 7-0 in his last 9 starts. His 7 wins since June 23rd leads Major League Baseball through that time frame as well. So Framber Valdez too right now is just pitching at a marvelous level. Like you were saying, this was going to be your guy that needed to step up in that rotation in this second half, and he's honestly been doing that as of late.
Yeah, they really needed him because right before the All-Star break, Framber Valdez is kind of shaky. Ronel Blanco's, and Spencer Arrighetti are not looking too good. Hunter Brown's been carrying the load, and having your ace, Framber Valdez, I mean, he is the ace pitched opening day. Your ace on the mound, turning it around, having great outings, it really boosts up that pitching staff, and you're seeing it here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 4-0 post All-Star break as of right now with a 2.51 ERA. If you want to go last year's and check after the All-Star break how he pitched, he was 5-5 with a 4.66 ERA.
It was kind of like last year was kind of like the opposite, where he had a great first half of the season and just completely
fell off the wagon.
Yeah, fell off. I mean, he was in Cy Young conversations the first half of that. Like I said, last year, I think MLB made a track. I think it was third or fourth, and the Cy Young prediction there. But
well, so since we're talking about the Cy Young voting, 2022, he was on at least top 5, and the post All-Star break of them numbers were 9-2 with a 3.02 ERA. Okay. So he's looking like 2022 Framber Valdez after the All-Star break.
Gotcha.
And then another guy that's really pitching like an All-Star, which he's only been to an All-Star, I think it was in 21, is Yusei Kikuchi.
He's making Danny Brown look good.
Oh, I mean, a lot of people are like saying, hey, you need to go apologize. I know on social media for sure they're saying like, all right, everybody start sending apologies to Dana Brown because this trade right now, which I don't know if you've seen Will Wagner. He's hitting the freaking ball over there in Anaheim for the Blue Jays, and he's looked really good in, I think, 3 games. I know 2 of them for sure.
Didn't he get 3 hits in his first game or no?
3 hits in his first game, 2 hits in his second game.
There you go.
But I forgot, since we're talking about Yusei Kikuchi.
Yusei.
You just got to.
Yeah.
You got to. And I told everybody, if he starts pitching like this,
this will be the anthem.
He's going to be coming on all the time. But let's continue talking about 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 92 pitches were thrown, 62 of them were strikes. In those 3 starts as an Astro, he has a 2.70 ERA. He has a 2.0 record, 24 strikeouts. He's in 4th in the American League with 154 strikeouts, and he's 3rd in the AL among starting pitchers, which goes for the strikeouts as well, with a 10.47 strikeout per 9 innings. When me and Robert Flores were talking about this guy, Robert basically said he has a lot of swing and misses. And from the 2 starts prior to the one against Tampa Bay at the Trop, he had like 36, I want to say. I know in the mid-30s, generating swing and misses from StatCast. So he's been getting a lot of swing and misses. The strikeout numbers are continuing to prevail. And he's, like you said, he's been looking like one of the best trade acquisitions the Astros have had since, man, at least in the deadline, Justin Verlander.
Wow.
I mean, because you got to think, that's
a big name there.
What do you consider Christian Vasquez and Trey Mancini?
How about Zach Greinke?
Zach Greinke, oh, yeah. I'm thinking of offseason. Hey, you're right, man. But that only works if they win the World Series, I think.
You see, but they made, I mean, literally one pitch away. I mean, we can honestly say a pitch made the whole difference in that game.
Okay, so let's grade it right here real quick. 3, we go 2019 with the Zach Greinke trade. You go with 2022 with the Christian Vasquez and Trey Mancini, and then you'll go with Yusei Kikuchi at 23. How would you rank them?
I would say Zach Greinke trade.
Vasquez, that's number 1.
Yeah. Vasquez. Okay. No, I would say Mancini and Vasquez trade number 1 just because they won a World Series. Vasquez 2, and then Kikuchi 3. As of right now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know what the outcome's going to be in the future. I don't know if Yusei Kikuchi becomes a huge aspect. Say for example, the Astros win the World Series and Kikuchi does phenomenal play. That might change, you know. So it's just it just depends.
If they go to the World Series and they win the World Series, scenario right here, does Kikuchi go to number one?
Yeah, I would say so because the World Series you were talking about, you know.
Exactly. Okay, I was just making sure on that part. But yeah, Yusei has been looking really, like I said, a really great trade acquisition for the Astros, especially for Dana Brown. Yes, he did overpay, but it's looking like it's working for them as of right now because they're in a win now mode, and they're trying to make it to another ALCS and World Series appearance.
And honestly, there's like a different demeanor with the starting pitching as of late now. Like I feel like right before the trade deadline, Astros fans and even like just from like analyzing the game while we're there, it was kind of like not lost, but there's a lot of uncertainty like with that rotation. Spencer Arrighetti wasn't pitching well. Ronel Blanco looked a little fatigued, but now with the addition of Yusei Kikuchi, it's like a little switch just flipped. Spencer Arrighetti's pitching well. Ronel Blanco just is coming. I know you're about to talk about like had a great outing now, and Framber Valdez is pitching well again. It's just like things are so slowly going into like trying to set into place. So I mean, it could have been, yes, it was an overplay, but I mean, now that they have some reinforcements there, I think it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, they'll even have another guy coming back pretty soon. That's going to be pitching later in the AA affiliate Corpus Christi Hooks, which we'll have an update on JV's next rehab start later in the show. Ronel Blanco, like you were saying, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 73 pitches were thrown, 46 of them were strikes. And you look at the pitch count, you're like, wow, 73. I think he could have won another inning. Well, he did get hit by a comebacker. It just maybe hit his fingers a little. X-rays were negative. Joe Espada said so. They believe that he should be good and ready to go for his next start. But this is the first time that Blanco has thrown through the 6th inning. You got to go back to July 14 before the All-Star break against the Texas Rangers. So it's very good to see Blanco get back on that mound and pitch a quality start.
Yeah, this is from Matt Karankawa from the Houston Chronicle, good friend over there. Ronel Blanco left the game after a line drive hit his index finger and it kind of numbed. That's what Joe Spada said. X-rays were negative. So pretty good sign there.
Very good sign, and even for him too.
Yeah, because it was 106.5 miles off the bat.
And I think who was the better in that at bat? It was Brandon Lowe, right?
Brandon Lowe.
So, I mean, if you combine all those, really the earned runs and the walks, I want to pay attention to more. If you combine from them 3 guys, they only gave up 2 earned runs and 1 walk of 6. Let me see. 5 and 5. That's 10. 11 and a third. 17 and a third total innings from these 3 starters. And you only give up 2 earned runs and you only give up 1 walk.
It's pretty phenomenal there.
That is very phenomenal. That's going to make you go to the World Series with that type of rotation.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Well, that's a recipe for wins there.
I mean, not even talking about the strikeouts. Even the hits, too. I mean, Framber only giving up 3. Kikuchi only giving up 3. Blanco only giving up 2. I'm not saying the Rays are like a postseason team, but they still got some good hitters over there.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to compete. I mean, just look what they did to the Astros MMA Park. They won that series, and that was after the trade deadline. So, I mean, they're going to compete.
Yeah, most definitely. So, shout out to the starting pitching in that series. And let's throw a little shout out and some love to Josh Hader, the Astros closer of 2024. My God, 26 consecutive saves, an inning and a strikeout with 1 save on Tuesday. He threw 10 pitches. He goes today, which is Wednesday night, going 2 innings, striking out 3 batters and picking up the win. And a crucial spot right there to not just give the Astros a series sweep, but they even lead the division by 2.5 games now against the Mariners, because the Mariners did get walked off by the Tigers today.
Yeah. I mean, they they needed some. This is the reason why the Astros got Josh Hader to be the closer that he is. He like I think everybody knows he's elite, and he's just proving it again that the Astros made the right call.
Yeah, I mean, trying to see some more numbers on Hater. I thought I had some, but I know. Oh, maybe yes. Obviously, it was held by Brad Lidge. If I think
Yeah,
we have mentioned it, 24 straight back in '05 and then World Series days. But as of now, well, before tonight's game, Hader has a 144 ERA, only giving up 4 earned runs and 25 innings pitched in those 26 save opportunities.
well,
So he looks like he's getting back on track. You remember the beginning of the season we had talked about like him trying to settle into this new closing role with the Astros. Yeah, he's given up a little bit of, I wouldn't even say a little bit. He's given up double digit of home runs, but he's still pitching really well in these last couple of appearances.
I agree with you. I mean, he's been pretty lights out.
Yes, but like we had talked about, this race series, very, very, very crucial series for the Astros, and they did the job taking care of business. 8-game winning streak. Now they come back to Minute Maid Park and they will play the Chicago White Sox, which will have that pitching preview.
But shouldn't be taken lightly. You saw what they did to the Yankees.
Exactly. They had a 2-1 lead against the Yankees, and then they let that go. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's talk about the position changes, though, in this series, what we've seen and what we've heard and what we've saw. Zach DeZenzo was getting some work, like I was saying, in left field on Monday's game per Brian McTaggart. Zach DeZenzo could play some left field. Spot on DeZenzo taking some fly balls in left. He said, quote, "There's a possibility of him getting some playing time in left. I wanted to see how he looks. He's super athletic and looked good today." That was on Monday. Especially in our ballpark. It's something we'd consider, in quote. Yainer Diaz also making a new defensive change. Started at first base on Tuesday for the very first time this season. This was Yainer's 8th career start on the other side of the hot corner at first base. And I got to ask you, dude, because let's start with Zach DeZenzo real quick. What do you think of him getting some reps over there in the outfield? Because usually that's more of Chas McCormick. That's either Mauricio Dubon. Of course, Yordan Alvarez plays a little bit of left field. What do you think of having the rookie go out there and take some reps in left?
I think the Astros are just seeing their options because the struggles that Chas McCormick has been experiencing, the struggles that Mauricio Dubon's kind of giving them, like they need some offense. Before, like before this winning streak happened, like that 5-9 lineup was brutal. Like it was really generating no offense from that end. So I'm gonna go with the hot hand. I think the Zenzo started off the game pretty good. I would like to see Pedro Leon get a little few more swings. I know, I know he's hitting like under 200 right now, but with the limited opportunities he's gotten, I think it's kind of hard to get hot. I mean, he came up in the first 3 games, he sat, and it comes out the 4th game there. But I think it's just weighing their options. Like the one I do like, and I'm gonna come bring it up next. I'll just answer it. The one I do like is Yainer Diaz playing first base.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. Just save the legs a little bit. Victor Caratini does a great job behind the plate. I'm not saying Yainer Diaz doesn't. I mean, they both do. But if you can save Yainer Diaz's leg and keep that bat in the lineup, I think that's pretty phenomenal there.
Yeah, I'm doing some math on the side real quick from this series, at least from 6 through 9 of the order. Let me say 4.
Not bad.
No, you're good. No, you're
That's
good.
good.
No, but I'll give a little bit on the Zach DeZenzo one. Yeah, I agree. I think giving him a little bit of opportunity because, too, you got to remember, too, the Astros don't know the future of Kyle Tucker for this season. We'll talk about his injury status here in a little bit, as well as, like you mentioned, Chas McCormick right now, he's been cold, man. I know a lot of Astro fans don't like to see that from him because this was a guy that was a pivotal part of their lineup last year. And even in 2022 defensively, and seeing him struggle this bad this season, it sucks. And I don't think anybody had imagined that for him. But Yainer Diaz, on the other hand, I do agree with you. They drafted a catcher this year, if you remember, Walker Yannick, who's already, I think he's in Asheville right now. And I don't know if you saw a throw on social media. I don't know who had caught it, but he did throw with a pop time with the 1.83. That's some of the best in the league as of right now. And if that's the case of getting Yiner some attempts at first base, I'm not opposed to it because just look at the past seasons through other organizations. So, I mean, the Angels are a prime example, bringing up talent that they just drafted last year. Zach Neto is one of them. Man, I don't know their first baseman's name. I think Shonel. I might be saying it wrong, but he's a first baseman for them. Ben Joyce is another one.
Oh,
Same goes for the White Sox as well.
yeah, Sean or something like that, right?
Yeah, White Sox goes the same as well, man. So you're kind of seeing that trend now in the majors that they're already seeing the talent that they've done in college and what they could bring in the pros. Obviously, Yannick was a Buster Posey, I think, semifinalist or finalist for that award. So the kid has a bright future. And if Yiner has to play first base because of the bat that he's swinging, I'm not opposed to it. I will say this though, I think the Astros need to go to a three catcher system. I think three catchers need to be on the roster come September when I think they only get like 2 roster moves. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cesar Salazar, what he did when Victor Caratini was on the IL, did really good and behind the play, and then even offensively, he has some hits and some RBIs too. I wouldn't be opposed to that, and then giving Victor Caratini some appearances at the plate, I think that'd be good for the Astros as well.
Yeah, Yanier Diaz caught 60 games last year. He played 8 in first base, and then this year he's already caught 77 games. So, I mean, it's more than what he's done. So I think saving the legs would be pretty good for him too.
Yeah, now I got the numbers. If I could just calculate this real quick. 33. 6 through 9, 5 for 33 in this series against the Rays. So the Astros top of the lineup just can't do everything for them because of as of right now. I mean, Yiner Diaz, Jose Altuve, what we had mentioned on the other podcast, the top 4 of that lineup was doing all the damage of that Red Sox series.
Yeah.
And for a game like this today, specifically that series finale, only getting 2 hits, one of them coming from Jeremy Pena's home run, that's unacceptable from the bottom part of the lineup. And they have to find a way to get back on track and try to produce some type of run production. So you give the guys at the top of the order some RBI, with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, the Astros have been kind of blessed as of late with the hot production of Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez, because without them, the Astros could be either not in first base anymore, because honestly, they've been carrying the load.
Yeah, so that's my prediction. If the Astros do, obviously, I think they'll go to a 6-man rotation whenever Justin Verlander returns. But I honestly think bringing up Cesar Salazar to give a little bit of more depth in that catching depth behind the plate, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. And seeing DeZenzo getting some playing time over there and left, especially with the Crawford boxes, like Espada said, I'm not opposed.
Especially I think right now Armendariz Diaz is taking up a roster spot that could have been Cesar Salazar. I mean, like, we haven't really seen Armendariz Diaz at all.
I think he's just there for the leadership, I would say.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move on to the Carne Asada. And who else? Who will be bringing me but Alex Bregman? Dude is hot. Is hot.
Hotter than the charcoal that he's putting the meat on.
Absolutely. Like Lorenzo said, he was 4-14 in the series with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. 2 home runs, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. He has hit safely in 8 straight games, and then in those eight games, he has a 432 batting average, 16 for 37, with 4 doubles, 5 home runs, and 8 RBIs, while posting a 946 slugging and a 1,000.42 OPS. That's pretty phenomenal. Now, he didn't get to the 5 straight home runs. Obviously, the Astros garnered 2 hits against the Rays in the finale. But do you know who's the Astro that hit 5 home? Who's the most recent Astro to hit 5 straight home runs?
The most recent?
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker.
Yuli Gurriel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who would have known on that?
Let me see. I think let me double check. He did it in 2019 from July 2nd to July 7th.
Yiner Diaz had 3. I remember that one from Anaheim.
Yeah.
Wow, I never would have thought Yuli Gurriel.
5 straight home runs. But another person that kind of carried the load this series would be Jeremy Pena. He went 5 for 11 with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 2 runs. Right now, he has a batting average of 278, almost close to that Lorenzo margin that Lorenzo said he said Jeremy Pena will be 300 uh, hitting shortstop. But right now, he loves hitting against the Tampa Bay Rays. He has a career batting average against them of 353, which is his best versus any opponent where he has a minimum of 30 at bats. And in those games, and right now in the American League, he ranks 8th with 37 multi-hit games. So he likes hitting against Tampa Bay, and I mean, tied for 8th with multi-hit games. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal there too.
Yeah, to add on to more of that, 3 home runs and 6 RBIs in his last 7 games with a 379 batting average and a 724 slugging.
There you go.
JP3 doing everything he can.
And something that I do like seeing about Jerry Pena is he uses his legs a lot, like to beat out those infield hits. I think that really adds to his 5 tools, like to the tools there.
Yeah, it bumps up the batting average too.
Absolutely.
That's a hard live drive single in the books.
And the on base percentage as well. So yeah, absolutely. Let's be bringing that white rice. Yusei Kikuchi, 5.2 innings pitched, 3 hits. Like Lorenzo said, no walks, 5 strikeouts. I'm not gonna read the stat because Lorenzo had covered it earlier, but just in case you missed it, he's 2-0 with a 2.770 ERA with in the last 3 starts for Houston with 24 strikeouts and 16.2 innings. So pretty phenomenal there. And then, I mean, it's a pack lineup. It's another sweep, so it's a pack kind of sad. We got Ronel Blanco as well. I'm gonna read over stats real quick. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no own runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He is tied for first in the AO in opponent batting average with a 183. He's just allowed 83 hits in 128 innings. Blanco also ranks 6th in the AO in both ERA and opponent OPS. So again, Ronel Blanco's just been great all season.
Yeah.
And I had to show some love to Yanni Diaz. I know he only had 3 hits, but he's been pretty phenomenal. He had 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 1 run. He was above 300 for a time. He's at 298 there, but I think that can go back up to 300. And in his last 18 games, he is hitting 397 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. He has a 658 slugging percentage and 1,025 base percentage as well. So, and in that span, he raised his batting average from 281 to 301.
Yeah, he's been on a different level. Is he still the team leader in RBIs, or is it Yordan Alvarez now?
No, yeah, he is.
He still leads the team in RBIs on.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. Yeah, Yiners really looked. I kid you not. I've seen so many on social too. If he was the catcher that had started in Game 7 of the ALCS, the Astros would be having another World Series under their belt.
You think so?
I mean, that's what people are saying on social.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Really, in that game, you got to go to pitching because honestly, Adolis Garcia had the Astros number. Mm-hmm. Really, the whole Rangers lineups. Corey Seager hit a home run too in that game, and I mean, the Astros just really couldn't hit at home at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
It's the game of baseball. But what do you think with Yusei Kikuchi's rice? Are we looking at jasmine rice? Do they use jasmine rice for the stir fry?
I think so. Some jasmine rice sounds actually like, some fried rice or something, like I'm good for that too.
So what, we're going with jasmine, you think?
Yeah, jasmine rice.
All right, jasmine rice it is. Can never go wrong with those putting in your prep meals for sure.
Healthy. I mean, nutritionist right there, so no side gig there.
Pitching preview coming along against the Chicago White Sox as they are 29-93 now. They were 29-92, but I think the Yankees already had beat them. And they are 1-9 in their last 10 games, last in the American League Central, have the worst record in Major League Baseball. But like Angel had said, you cannot take this team lightly. You still cannot take them lightly. You got to play them like if they're the number 1 team in baseball right now. And right now the Astros are playing like that number 1 team in baseball, but they got to continue riding the wave, especially taking care of an opponent like this that hasn't been playing good baseball as of late.
No, yeah, especially with I know what I'm talking about, especially when you have like their best pitcher on the mound against you. I mean, you can't take that because that could easily be a win for the White Sox.
Yep. And the Friday nights lights are going to be on display. Cold beer on ice. A lot of things going on. Friday, 7:10 start time. Garrett Crochet, like Angel had said, one of their best pitchers, 6-9 record with a 3.65 ERA. He'll be going against Spencer Arrighetti with a 5.10, 5.14 ERA. And Crochet, his last start versus the White for the Cubs, 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts in that little Chicago rivalry down south, up north. Just did not perform well. But his last start versus Houston, 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. As you can see in both them stat lines, he's not going to give up an extra base. He's not going to walk a lot of people. But I will say this: he has been struggling bad after the All-Star break. Has an 0-3 record with an 8.78 ERA. You combine those stats: 13 innings and a third pitch, 13 earned runs, an opponent batting average, Angel, 328. If I was in Crochet shoes, I'm be honest with you, I would have said forget the contract and forget about being a starter on a team. If you wanted a ring, I would have not said nothing and would have helped whatever team you were going to get traded to.
Yeah, I mean, but he said what he said. I mean, it is what it is for him.
A little shoulder shrug right there. But Arrighetti, on the other hand, man, he's been really pitching really well as of late. Kind of looks like Crochet in the beginning of the season, the Cy Young kind of guy. I'm not saying Arrighetti's a Cy Young guy, but he's been pitching as of late like one. Last start versus the Boston Red Sox, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. That is a new career high for him. He'll see if he could do that against the White Sox in this series. His last start against the White Sox, though, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. The 3 starters I'm going to name for the Astros were the guys that face Chicago back over there in the South Side. But as you can see, Arrighetti in those numbers against the White Sox, he doesn't look like that right now. And I'm going to ask you, what's been working for him in these last couple of starts? Because he's been pitching through the 6th inning. He hasn't been giving up a lot of runs, a lot of quality starts as well. What's been going well for him this late?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of confidence for Spencer Arrighetti, like you said earlier too. But I feel like he's also getting a better feel for his pitches. Yeah, there's stretches throughout the game where Spencer Arrighetti can locate a fastball. It just tells on him a little bit, but the movement on his pitches and like being able to make it look like a strike for a long time, I think that's been very effective for Spencer Arrighetti.
Yeah, his command has been looking as of late really well. I think on Intentional Talk on MLB Network, he was a guest on there. And I want to say he's been using a little bit of the statistical, stuff, that the analytics and all that stuff that they've been using. He's been using that a little to more of his advantage of these last couple starts. So it's been helping him really well. And of course, the Astros organization is really more analytical than a lot of these organizations in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's been working.
It has. Saturday, though, 6:10 start time. Chris Flexen with a 2.11 record, 5.34 ERA. He'll be going against Hunter Brown with a 10.7 record, 3.96 ERA. Flexen, his last start versus the Cubs, 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. The last start versus Houston, though, kind of pitched like a Cy Young. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Obviously, they're going to see each other again in this next start, and I'm just very interested to see how the Astros, especially riding an 8-game winning streak, the offense has been playing good as of late, and I'm trying to see if they make an adjustment going into this start against Flexen.
I think they will.
I think so too. Hunter Brown, real quick. Last start versus Boston, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Last start versus the White Sox. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. I really don't have not a lot to say about Hunter Brown. He's just been dominating in all these starts as of late.
Yeah, like I know he's from Detroit, but I feel like every time he goes places near Detroit, like Chicago, I think he's always pitching really good.
Are the White Sox and Tigers a rivalry?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're in the same division.
I mean, it's just like a divisional rival. That's pretty much it.
Well, we'll just go with that. Divisional rival. Wait, Michigan and Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday's matchup 110. Kai Bush, KY. I thought it was Kyle for a second, but it's Kai.
I know. I thought you didn't finish writing the name.
No, it's Kai. 0-1 record with a 5.19 ERA. He'll be going against Framber Valdez with a 12.5 record, 3.38 ERA. Let me start with Valdez real quick because there's not a lot to say. I already read his stat line against the Rays. His last start versus the White Sox, 6 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. I highly doubt you're going to see that walk rate like in that start against the White Sox be pretty high. I think his command has been really well in this second half. The ground ball, of course, is still there in his work. So I really have nothing to say about Valdez on this start. But Bush, on the other hand, last start against the Red Sox, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 walks, 2 strikeouts. My gosh, 7 walks. That's a lot. This will be his third start this season, and in his career, he did make his major league debut in early August. I think it was like August 6th or August 8th. So he is a new upcoming pitcher. 4 pitch arsenal as well. He has a 4-seamer, a slider, a curve, and a change. 4-seamer is the highest pitch he's thrown, 53.6 of the time. He averages about 91 to 92 miles per hour. So it's not going to be a mid to high velocity fastball. It's going to be pretty low. And I'm pretty sure he could touch mid, but it's going to be low most of the time. Slider, 27.1% of the time, averages about 83 miles per hour. I know strikeout wise, he has 4 strikeouts total from his both 2 starts, 2 from the fastball, 2 from the slider. They've been his put away pitches as of late. Curveball, 11%, averages 72 miles per hour. And the changeup, 8.3%, averages 87 miles per hour, which is pretty high for a changeup, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, and on paper, it looks good for the Astros to, have a hit parade there. But if we do recall, the Astros have faced, I believe, 2 rookie pitchers, and both times that rookie pitcher has have the Astros number. So, again, on paper, looks good. I think the Astros got to treat it like any other game. You're looking at a professional setting at the mound. Just take care of the bats, do what you got to do, and get the easy win. Or it should be an easy win, but get the win.
Should be a win. They need to claim the series win, of course, and they could go for the sweep, but you got to take care of business against a team like this, especially, not throwing shade at them, but the worst team in Major League Baseball right now. You gotta take advantage of it, especially with the Mariners being 2.5 games back in the division. Continue putting yourself on top, and hopefully they're continuing to go down if you're a Nationals fan.
Yeah, these are dog days of summer. This is where literally pretenders and contenders are separated, and right now the Astros are looking at the contenders. They need to be able to win the games they need to win, so they need to take advantage that they are facing the White Sox and get as much lead, like you said, as possible. But moving on to the train station, I think the biggest news again still has been Kyle Tucker. I think he's been here for a while now, and I didn't think he would be, right, but per Brian McTaggart on Monday, Kyle Tucker is doing all sorts of work in the outfield at Tropicana Field, including some short sprints, side-to-side movement, and now is shooting fungos in the outfield. On a Wednesday, Tucker played some catch on the field, and Espada said he hit inside and did a ton of work in the weight room. Espada also added slow progress, but he's trending in the right direction. Now, I mean, I agree with Espada there. That's slow progress, but I know you were talking about, is it safe to say that the Astros will see Kyle Tucker in the regular season? What do you think on that?
I think they do. I was targeting the beginning of September. Now it looks like you're probably seeing the mid part of September, honestly. I mean, if you looked at the video McTaggart had posted on X, Twitter, he kind of looked like he still had a hobble on him, man.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. When we were there, at the game, Kyle Tucker passed. I think, who was the last series the Astros faced? I mean, if we're going on this road trip, who was it?
Tampa Bay.
When Tampa Bay was there, he passed right through us, and I remember. I don't know if I told you, maybe we're talking about something else. He kind of had a little wobble to his step.
No, you didn't mention it.
No, you didn't mention it. Well, I kind of noticed it. He was kind of still not limping, but you can tell he wasn't walking correctly. Mm-hmm. So how you were adding to that he kind of still has a wobble. You said, right?
Yeah, it looks like he has a small little limp when he throws or when he's doing some type of vigorous exercises. I know on one of the videos McTaggart had, he was doing some high knee type of motion with the trainer, and it looked like a little skip that he had. So I don't think he's 100%. I don't even think he's. Oh man, percentage wise, we're talking. Man, I'd say 65.
I was thinking more 75.
60. Okay. Well, that's what I was thinking, like 65 to 70. We could meet in the middle. We'll say 70.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Which
but yeah,
obviously,
now
go ahead.
looking
Go
at
ahead.
it though, real quick, I think you're probably going to see Kyle Tucker maybe come back with the Astros like mid September, second or third week of September.
Yeah, especially if the Astros are winning. I mean, I don't think they want to take a risk in having a 70% Kyle Tucker when they can wait a little bit longer and have 100% Kyle Tucker there. So,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the Astros superstar going to take their time with him, but it's been very slow progress to say the least.
Yep.
And Justin Verlander on Monday, Justin Verlander it stated that Justin Verlander would throw on a rehab start this week. And on Tuesday, it was confirmed on the Matt Thomas show on Sports Talk 790 that Joe Espada said Justin Verlander will pitch a rehab start on Thursday in Corpus Christi. I think this could be his last start before he comes into the major league team if all goes well, right? So I feel like if all goes well, you should see the Astros, Justin Verlander in the Astros uniform pretty soon.
Yeah, I think you're probably looking around Boston when the Red Sox come to Houston.
Yeah, I think the White Sox series would be too early. So yeah, I'd say Boston.
Yeah, so Boston or I think the next road trip is Baltimore.
I'd say Boston's pretty safe to say.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then Luis Garcia remains a no throw. So I mean, the fact that he's not throwing is what, mid-August.
Time's ticking.
Yeah,
days are running short.
Yeah, but again, I don't think you see him this year. I mean, there was hope. There was hope. I think like once he started throwing the bullpen, he did look really good. It's just that elbow soreness. You don't want to. I mean, like imagine like his arm hasn't been throwing in so long, and then all of a sudden you ramp it up. Sometimes you need a little bit more rest.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I might be agreeing with you. He might not pitch this season.
And then I don't know if you forgot about this Astro, but the Astros also have Penn Murfee. Penn Murfee threw a 25 pitch live repeat, but today, I'm sorry, this was on Monday. So on Monday he threw a 25 pitch bullpen in Florida, and he's also gonna have a rehab assignment tomorrow in Fayetteville. So that's another Astro inching closer and closer. I don't know if we see him pitch this year, but if he does, it'll probably be like in the maybe last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you're looking at a guy probably like it's almost like help is on the way for the bullpen, at least that middle relief role. If everything goes well with Rafael Montero, that guy could come back. You could look at Seth Martinez possibly come back. Penn Murfee, just depending on how he does, could come back. Another guy I think the Astros should be looking at when it comes to them September call-ups, Forrest Whitley. He's been pitching really well over there with Sugarland. So, man, when it gets closer to September, it gets me excited to see what the young talent or just vets that have played this game for a while come up and try to contribute on the last month when it gets closer to the postseason.
Yeah, and don't forget about Rafael Montero too. I know he's working some things out over there in Triple A, so he could be back in with the Astros soon too.
Yeah,
and then to end the train station on a good note, Astros this weekend for the this weekend against the White Sox, it's Hall of Fame weekend. So the Astros have announced their Hall of Fame inductees this past spring, which is going to be longtime Spanish broadcaster Rene Cardenas and also their baseman Ken Caminetti. Obviously, Ken Caminetti is not here in this world with us, so his family will accept his honor. But they will both be inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame. The festivities will happen Saturday. It starts at 5:30, so if you have an Astros ticket there, you should probably get there early to see the festivities happening.
Should be exciting. Be exciting. Did they have two last year too?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh man, it was just last year. I'm trying to think who.
I forgot to. Not gonna lie.
Bill Doran and was it Terry Poole?
Let me see.
Bill Doran, either him. I know Bill Doran for sure.
Bill Brown.
There it is.
Yeah.
Bill Brown. Astros broadcaster right there.
Yeah. And I think I know. Yeah, but there's a wonderful story out there on RSKina. Go check it out on Rene Cardenas. I actually had the privilege to go to his house and talk to him for an hour about what this world meant to him, and like this world meant to him and all that good stuff. So go check it out there.
Yeah, it was in his penthouse in the background. You don't see it right there.
Yeah, I forgot this photo from this is his house. But moving on, I think the biggest news from Ron Holmes will be Duran Duran from the Boston Red Sox using a homophobic slur on a fan. I know Lorenzo, you mentioned off air that he struggles with mental health, but I feel like in this darn age, that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen like in a locker room when no one's looking, and it definitely should not happen when you're on the deck circle and all the cameras are on you. So, it shouldn't happen anywhere near the game. Like there's a bunch of children that attend ball games, and I'm sure somebody shouldn't have heard worse. But like you're just setting the example of like by saying it and making it seem that it's okay to say when it's really not.
Yeah, I don't know if he continues to struggle with mental health. I know for sure he has dealt with mental health.
Sure.
But yeah, I do agree. It's unacceptable. Yes, as a baseball player, because you've played through that. I know I've played through that times when you have fans heckling you and all that stuff. I mean, it's gonna happen, but yeah, just doing a little bit too much right there. All you can do is just block it out. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and then the Boston Red Sox just suspended him for 2 games. But I think
he came back today.
Yeah, he came back. Yeah.
Hey, have you heard though? His jersey sales too have been popping. His jersey sales have been popping.
Of course, they have. Yeah. But on the other side of the state, you got the Yankees, and the Yankees sluggers have been loving the long ball. Juan Soto hit his first 3 home run game. I think he has 6 home runs in his last 4 games, and Aaron Judge became the fastest player in Major League history. Imagine the history of the games back in the early 1900s to hit 300. He's the fastest to hit 300 home runs. He did it in 955 games. Pretty amazing stuff there.
I'm kind of shocked that Soto. This is barely his first three home run game.
Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't believe that when I had heard the news.
That's another guy that's gonna break the bank this offseason.
It's just interesting to see where he goes, though. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Aaron Judge, on the other hand, real quick, MVP, has he already solidified himself as the MVP?
Oh, obviously, yes.
Man,
I know Bobby Witt Jr. is having a good season.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah,
Bobby Witt does have a good chance, but the way Aaron Judge is hitting the ball, and like for example, right here, like you were saying, the history that he's already made, Bobby Witt might have to wait next year.
Yeah, I think Aaron Judge is a clear-cut favorite for the MVP.
Isn't he glad that Shohei Ohtani's not in the American League?
Absolutely. I'm sure that's one guy that's excited about that.
Because wasn't there one time it was Ohtani, Judge, and then Alvarez?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see when the offseason does come around. But hey, another podcast in the books, under an hour. We've been doing a damn good job, dude.
Man, I'm glad I probably yawned like 5 times this podcast right now.
I will say I've kind of cut down the pitching preview just for the fact that they've already seen these pitchers.
Yeah, I got you.
And I already gave up all the data and all the stats and all that. Yeah, thank God. Because, man, doing the pitching previews, I ain't going to lie.
It's time-consuming work.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, but it's for everyone on here that has joined our show tonight. Good crowd, especially on this Wednesday night.
And it's actually a staple of the show, I believe. So I think that's, you've been doing it for so long, it's like tradition now.
Yeah, and not just that. You got to know what these guys are coming here with. I mean, they could have a 2-something ERA, but struggle against right-handed hitters. I mean, it's the beauty of this game. But episode 206 is in the books. Continuing to follow us at our social media platforms below. Like Angel had said in the beginning of the show, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, on TikTok as well. We are on YouTube. Subscribe to our new YouTube. Well, it's not even new, honestly, but YouTube channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. A lot of our followers that are watching our show right now is on X/Twitter. So we would appreciate you. Go onto YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, as well as our podcast platforms from Spotify, Apple. Leave us a rate, leave us a review, leave us some stars. Let us know how we're doing. And even talking about our socials too. I mean, our socials are right there because we both will be at the ballparks this coming series with the White Sox and the Red Sox.
And then speaking of new, go follow Lorenzo's new podcast. It's really interesting stuff. Baseball's a game of adjustments, good mentality, and he gets the scoop with players with one-on-one interviews. So go check that out. Baseball Adjustments on X.
Shout out, yep, even on Instagram and on the other platforms just like this one. But until then, we'll give you that recap of the Chicago White Sox series and give you the preview of the Boston Red Sox. But until then, everybody, y'all have a safe and blessed weekend. Y'all have fun. Go drink a cold one if you're over 21 years old. But till then, we'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.